Hey guys, welcome back. Today we've got another Medford. This is the Medford Flipper FUK, the fighting utility knife. So this is a little odd. This one won't be for everybody, but let's dive right into the specs. Close length is 4 5/8 inches. It is a flipper, and it's one of the Medfords that actually does flip. Has a kind of a unique shape to it. The overall length is 7 3/4 with a blade length of, again, the website says 3 3/4, but I measure from the edge of the scale to the tip of 3 1/2 with an edge length of 3 inches. This particular one is in D2 with a hollow ground blade. Weighs in at 7 1/2 ounces, and the overall thickness is 0.67 minus the clip. And as most Medfords do, it runs on phosphor bronze washers. This particular one is all PVD coated, except for the clip, the hardware, of course, and as you notice, it's got polished perimeters, they call it. So all the way around the scales, after it was PVD coated, they went through and they took off the PVD coating as well as on the spine of the blade. So all the way around, it has these, just the clear raw titanium and or D2 for the blade steel. So it gives it a little bit of a pop. It's kind of a cool, different look. So it really matches with the clip and whatnot. So this one, it's similar in shape and design as a karambit. Doesn't have the finger hole, and it's a little bit different, but it is similar to a karambit. So for, if you're a knife fighter, which I am not, it has kind of that unique angle for fighting in both a forward grip and a reverse grip for, self-defense moves and whatnot. And that's not me, but it does have that ability. And it also gives you a lot of leverage for cutting linoleum, cutting tile, ripping down boxes, things like that. It actually works really well for because of the ergonomics of it. Couple of drawbacks to this one. I mean, in general, I really do like it. It's odd. I don't carry it that often, to be completely open, because it is unique and a little odd to me even, but it was something I did not have in my collection that I got a pretty good deal on, and this one being the PVD with the polished perimeters just kind of stood out and spoke to me. The fit and finish on it is really good. As most Medfords are, there's no blade play. It is a solid lockup. I mean, it's a solid knife. The flipper tab is rather large, both when it's closed and, it works, and then when it's open. It works great as a, guard. The finger choil is not really, it's a little small for my finger, but you could choke up on it. But when you go to close it, the flipper tab really does get in the way. It's a plus and a negative because it protects your thumb, which is in the path of travel of the blade. So you cannot unlock it, close it, and cut your finger. So in that regard, it's a plus, but it's also a minus for the same thing. It kind of gets in the way when you go to close it. So the other negative on this one, and we talked about it on some other Medford videos, is the exposed lock face. On a lot of them, it's just kind of exposed up here. But where this one sits, because of the angle of the blade, the lock face really is not protected at all. Like, it's just really kind of out there. Again, I have not had any issues with any of my Medfords. I typically don't drop my knives. But if you were to drop this, it potentially could mar up this lock face and affect the lockup of the knife. Potentially. I've not seen it happen. I'm just pointing out that it is possible. And so they do make, this is the flipper FUK. They do make a fixed FUK, which is basically the same size overall. And I'll do another video on this one, but the blade thickness is a hair bigger on the fixed FUK, and the finger choil actually works a lot better to choke up on the fixed FUK. But we'll do a video on that one again at a later date. And if I didn't mention, I think I skipped over this one, the blade thickness is 0.260. So it is the same thickness as your full titanium, your full tie Praetorian, your full thickness Marauder, your Arctica, your Viper. So it's got the thicker blade stock that puts Medford in that overbuilt category. So it's a unique knife. Let's give you a couple size comparisons, just because it happens to still be on the table. The Spyderco Tenacious, roughly the same overall length. I think the Tenacious is just a hair longer, but it's hard to compare the flipper FUK with other things because of its unique shape. So here's the Todd Big Field Marshal, which is quite a bit longer. But again, the FUK is so curved, it's really hard to compare it to other knives. And then the Chris Reeve Sabenza. So again, it's hard to compare it, but I wanted to kind of give you a couple of different comparisons. It does carry fairly well in the pocket. But again, this one is not for everyone. It is a unique piece. This is the second one I've had. I did let another one go before I got this one. But this one with the black and the polished edges just kind of spoke to me. So for now, it stays in the collection. It's something I'm not too emotionally attached to, I don't think. So this one may get moved at some point. So anyway, let me know what you think of the flipper FUK from Medford Knife and Tool. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, I greatly appreciate it. And you guys have a great day, and we will see you on the next one.